Hello everyone, Corpse here, bringing you another video tutorial. Today's tutorial is on creating your own transition. Well, in today's video tutorial, we're going to go over creating your own transition for OBS. Specifically using the Stinger transition plugin that you can download from Twitch. Well, first, you're going to need to create your own transition. This is something, and I'll be using this one for the example, but I've made it for my stream. We click on that, little guy spins, opens up, and voila. And then it works on everything. So here, we're going to get started. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you using Sony Vegas. Granted, you'll be able to use other programs such as like Adobe After Effects, probably Premiere, maybe Photoshop, who knows. You just need some sort of program where you can create an animation or a video and save it as QuickTime. I find that to be the best as a QuickTime video with a RGB plus alpha channel, so RGBA. So let's get started. Here's a little video that I made earlier. This is the one that I'm using on mine. I'm not going to show you exactly how to make it, but I'll show you with here. Let me get these going. Here's my trans images. As you can see, here's my left, here's my right, and if you look right here, you can see the checkerboards over here in my the media that I'm using. The checkerboard is the transparent. I'm using PNG images since PNG allows transparency. So does GIFs, but GIFs don't allow you to have any type of blur or anything. It will fill in the space with white, so it looks like garbage. PNG is where you want to be at if you're going to do that. So I have a left and right. And then I have the center doohickey, which I use when I do the rotation. Just because my right door itself has the fixed guy there. So you want to have something with transparent, and because it's transparent, it's showing up black in the back because of this program. One thing I do want to point out is this animation is actually only 5 seconds long. So it ends right here. But then I got 3 seconds of nothing, which all I did was, here, let me move this over to this screen. As you can see, here's the animations. It slides shut right there, stays there, and then it starts its slide to being open. But then I have it sit there, say, okay, that's what I want it fully open, and then for 3 more seconds I leave it as is, completely open, so it leaves a little bit blank. I recommend at least 2 seconds minimum. 3 seconds is perfect, but you want to have a few seconds at the end of the transition, and I'll explain why in a little bit further, but just trust me, you want to have a few seconds after the transition to have it blank. So now we're going to save this. If you have Sony Vegas, what you want to do is come up and select File, go to Render As. We're going to select QuickTime 7 Movie. Hit the little drop down, come down to 3 megabytes per second video, and then click Customize Template. Next thing we want to do is custom frame 1920 by 1080. Frame rate, we're going to want to drop that down to 29.97 or 30 frames, essentially. Then what we want to do is change the video format. We want to change this to PNG. And the reason for PNG allows transparency. So it has the alpha mask to it. So compressed depth, we're going to want to switch this to 32 bits, 32 BPP color. Quality, of course, high. And then we want to come over to audio and just uncheck that. Streaming, well, we can turn that off too. Project, we can leave that. So that's pretty much how it is right there. And then we click OK. And then what we would do is name it and then click render. I am not going to render this video because I already have it rendered. So pretend I just click render and it's rendering, wasting time, blah blah blah. And while we're pretending that's happening, let me bring this back over. Let's come back here. You'll see right here, here's the rendered video. 5-second trans with blank tail movie. So what we're going to want to do is, let's see how big this is. This is a large file, 245 megabytes in size. That's a little bit too big for a transition. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it into basically a web video. And if we right click, this is the one I made earlier. If I click on properties, you can see it's 6.24 megabytes. I took this video and compressed it from 245 megabytes to 6 megabytes. 6.25 megabytes. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to download a program. The website is called biggmatt.com. Big Matt, or it's Big G Matt, or just Big Matt, right there. Bigmatt.com. The link will be down in the description of the video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on my website, the link is going to be also below the video to this. If you're watching this on something else, well, the website is biggmatt.com. I'll even spell it out for you right there. See it? Yeah. Okay, let's go. So when you come to the site, you want to click on WinFF, which when you come to the site, you'll be on the home. You just go to WinFF, and you're going to see the downloads. Download the execution, WinFF 1.5.5 setup. So once we have that, you want to download it, install it. It should only take a minute to install. And once installed, you can open up the program and it's going to look like this. So now what you want to do is click on add, find the video that you want to do, which is right here. Click open. Now we want to go to output details. You want to have it on Google WebM generic full screen. You want to make sure it's on generic full screen. And output folder. Let's do this so it goes to my desktop. And video, we're going to want to do video bitrate. You could set this to whatever. You could do 15,000, 20,000. I'm going to do 15,000 for this one. Frame rate. Remember, we set the video for 29.97, so 30 frames per second. So there's the frame rate. I mean, you can, if you want to get more in depth, you just come up to here. What was it? What is it? 29.97, I think it was set at. Yeah, 29.970. So, I mean, you can do that. 29.970. Video size 1920 by 1080, 1080. And we're going to want to do 2 pass. So next thing we're going to want to do is audio. Nothing there. Crop, nothing. Time. Actually, all that's right there. That's all you want to do. Output detail. Yep, that's good. That's good. And then we click convert. When you click convert, you're going to see this dialog box pop up. And you're going to see, here, let me move that over. You're going to see frame equals, and it tells you what current frame it's on. And it's going to run through it twice. Once it's done with this first pass, it's going to run one more time. And here it is, starting on the second pass. And it'll be done in probably, I want to say another minute or two. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to save you guys some time. I'm going to pause the video and pick up when it's done. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, it's done. It says press any key to continue. So we just press any key, and there we go. We're done. So we can actually close this right now. And with the frame rate, I set it to 29.97. You can really get away with just doing 30 frames. I just did 29.97 to match the video output that was done by Sony Vegas. Do I recommend doing that? Well, it doesn't really matter. I just did it. But as you can see, it compressed the video down to 6.26 megabytes, which is actually a little bit larger than this one here that is at 30 frames per second. But let me see if there's a video quality difference. It looks really compressed here, but it's not compressed. It's just how it's being shown here. But you can see it looped there. And surprisingly enough, actually, the 29.97 looks a little bit smoother. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this with blank tail, and after tail I'm going to do a dash 29.97 dot WebM. So I'm going to move that one right here. So now I have this here. We come up to OBS. Well, you need the stinger transition first. So technically, let's go over to OBS. And in OBS, under plugins, if you don't know where that is, you go to forums, OBS Studio plugins, and you'll see it right here called Video Transition, Stinger Transition. Surprisingly enough, a lot of people have been having, some people have been having issues with this. I don't know why they have a hard time installing it. Seems like they did. But basically, you go to Stinger Transition, OBS Studio. I never drag and drop the OBS Studio. I always open up the OBS Studio. And you can look in the plugins. You can see there's a 32-bit and a 64-bit folder. So let's go up to C, Program Files, x86. And then we want to come up to OBS Studio. And if you look in the, what folder are we in? Right here. OBS plugins, you'll see there's a 32 and a 60-bit folder. So, I mean, everything's there. So you just want to come up to here, make sure you see those same folders right here, OBS plugins and data. Just highlight these two folders, drag and drop them. That's it. I'm not going to do it because I already have it installed, so I'm not going to overwrite the files. There's no need for me. But yeah, that's all you do. Some people will just say, oh, go to there and come in here and then just drag and drop that. No, don't do that. Come inside here. The reason why I say that is if you're going to drag and drop, you got to make sure you drop over a file. If I'm going to do that, you have to come and drag the folder over a file. Because if you drag it over any folder, it's going to go into that folder. Especially if you come up to the OBS Studio and say, oh, I'm just going to put this in here. And this is the biggest problem people have. They do it in web design, web problems. They're like, oh, I put the modules folder, and what I did was I dragged and dropped the modules folder over the modules folder. I'm like, yeah, now go on to your FTP, go into the modules folder, do you see a folder in there called modules? Yeah, you're an idiot. Don't do that. It's a lot easier. Just come in here. Since there's only 3 folders in there, open up this one, grab the 2 folders, and just drag over any blank area. Or just drag and drop over any file. Anything where you see an extension, .dat, exe, dat, any of these, or any of this blank area underneath. If you drop over any folder, it's going to take these 2 folders and put it in. Plain and simple. Not that hard. But once you've got this stinger put in, you can close this, you can close that, and come back to OBS. Now what you want to do is, by default, you're going to probably see like cut or something, swipe or something. And a swipe is this. Let's go to the BRB. There you go. That's a swipe. I think actually fade might be default. I don't know. I haven't used default for a while. But I mean, what you want to do is come and select Stinger Transition. Once you've selected that, you'll see a little gear icon. Click this gear icon and go to Properties. Now that we have that there, what we want to do is, here, I'm just going to select, go to the folder wherever you put the Stinger Transition, somewhere where it's going to be permanent. Me, I have an OBS folder inside my pictures, and inside this folder I have everything I have for my stream. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just click that for a sec, and you're going to see that it will show you how many frames and where it thinks the transition should happen. But now I'm going to actually come up to 5-second trans with blank tail, 29.97. I'm going to select that. And right there. Now what we want to do is figure out where the transition has to be. How we decode, I'm not really sure what this is. I just leave it checked. But since I know this video and I have the 3 seconds blank, I know 70 roughly is correct. But for you, it'll probably find the dead center. But you have to remember, me, full frames is 240, so 120 would be dead center. So it probably normally by default would go right there. And I know that's wrong because I got 3 seconds of blank. So, and 3 seconds, that's comes out to be, what is that, 30 times 3. So 90 frames. So 120, yeah, the math is actually all wrong there. So I figured let's do 70 frames. Let's give that a try. Let's click OK. And now what we want to do is we want to switch. And as you can see, I saw it flip before the doors were fully closed. So I want to come up to here, click on Properties, and let's go up to, let's bring that up to, let's try 90. Click OK. Perfect. I mean, I could also come to OBS and look right here. This could give me a rough estimate, but see, 90 frames, it's telling me that's where this is. But my project, I don't think I have it set. I would have to look at my project settings. But it's showing frame at 93. It's still somewhat open, which I know it's not. But I honestly actually think this right here is not exactly the one where I did the edits, so this one actually might be different. I think I actually did 1.5, and then longer on the spin for this. That's why these frames are slightly different than the one that I'm using here for the transition. But we can tell 90 seems to be perfect. And just let me try something. I'm going to drop this down to, let's say, 80. So we're subtracting 10 frames off of it. And that looks good. So I'm just going to do in the middle. I'm going to do 85. So now you may be asking, okay, you talked about having the 3 seconds at the end. I'm going to show you why. We're going to go from starting zone to BRB. You can see that looks good. That works out great. So let's go to properties. And let me select one of my original 6-second trans with no blank. And let me come up here. Sometimes if you do this quickly enough and there's just a little bit of lag with OBS, especially when you're doing a game or something. Yeah, you saw my webcam, you couldn't really see me. That's because the lights are off. It's nighttime and I'm doing this with the lights off because I prefer lights off. But what happens is at the end, it gets hung up just for a second and then it gets cut off. And I found to fix that problem, you do the properties and you add an extra blank tail to the end. Trust me on this, it's worth it. Having the blank tail, definitely worth it. So now you may be wondering, okay, what is there anything else that you have to worry about? Well, having the extra 3 seconds on the back, if you just say switch to your BRB and you're like, okay, let me come back to game, and you select, let me select War Thunder and just say I wanted H1Z1. I say, oh shit, I'm in the wrong. I click H1Z1. As you can see, it looked all messed up. That is the dangers with having the 3 second blank trail. So what you want to do is make sure when you click the item like BRB and say, okay, I want to go to H1, but you accidentally click, like for me it says War Thunder. I say, oh shit, I'm clicking the wrong game. When the animation's done, count 1, 2, 3, then click H1Z1. And in that time you can say, apologize, saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click that. But see, that's only going to be a problem if you have different games. Like me, I've been trying to double up on games like War Thunder Force, World of Warships, and Crossout uses the same. Armored Warfare has its own. The Hunter has its own. Desktop View and Dawn of Titans has its own. Dawn of Titans 2, this was just a test and that I can get rid of. So I've been trying to double up, but each game requires me to have the camera, webcam, and different information in different locations. So I really can't do the same with all of them. But there's minor differences between all of them for each game. Like this one is completely noticeable. It's on the right hand side. But just remember, before you switch to the new scene, you want to wait the extra few seconds that you have there. So let me switch back to starting soon. And that's it with the Stinger transitions. I mean, you could always sit there and rename this. I can rename this as Corpse's Doors. I click OK. So we got Corpse's Doors right there. And if I want to add another, I can do a Stinger transition. And I can name this one as Bob's Doors or whatever. Click OK. And then you would set in the new transition for that. So let's do, I'm going to do the door slide 6-second transition. Gotta give it a second. There we go. And let's put this one at 90. So, but I don't believe you can, for different scenes, select a different transition. It's going to be transitions for each, but you can set up multiple different transitions using the Stinger transition itself. So until they find a way where you can set specific transitions for different switching of scenes, like starting soon, every time I leave starting soon, whatever I go to will use Corpse's Doors. Every time I leave H1Z1, it will use Bob's Doors or whatever. Until they allow you to set transitions per scene, I believe it's whatever transition you're on is what it's going to use. So I do hope this video tutorial helps you a little bit with this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you like this video, be sure to like it on YouTube, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. You can come visit me. I stream all the time on Twitch. My handle over there is flashing right below, or not really flashing, but printed right below. It is twitch.tv/dreaded corpse. Just remember, I am the only dreaded corpse out there. Hated by all, but loved by all. No, I'm joking. I'm just messing with you. But if you find this informative, feel free to help out my website and help out us, my clan, and help out me. Donations are welcome. Every little penny that we get in goes right back into the community. Might it go to getting stuff for giveaways, or help just paying our site bills and whatnot. I mean, it costs us a lot of money to host these files or all that. So, I mean, every little penny helps. And I know some of you guys are strapped. I'm strapped for cash. I mean, we're all strapped, but every little penny does help. And there's multiple ways. I mean, you can donate right to my website. You can come to my stream and donate, which will also get you broadcasted that you donated. Or you can do bits. Bits, if you don't know, is a new currency through Twitch. Every bit you donate is 1 penny to us. So just say, and you can get bits, you can buy them, or you can get them free by watching ads on Twitch. But if you have bits, you can donate them, and whatever you donate helps us. So yeah, feel free to come by and donate if you can. Help us keep going. But But yeah, if you have any questions or want to see a new video tutorial made, be sure to put in a request. You can come to my website, headshotdomain.net. Link is down below. And shoot me a PM or hop on our TeamSpeak and say hi and just chat and throw out your suggestion. Love to hear from you. So you guys have a good one. Until the next time.